All right, we're going to here. I had dropped my connection the first time around. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kitryn Marie. I reside in it all, and I may have to go run and get my other glasses because, of course, these aren't the correct ones. How is everybody doing? Here in St. Louis, Missouri, it has been raining for 40 days and 40 nights. And oh, good, my other glasses are here. And it's kind of like played havoc with emotions. Oh, much better. Of course, the lighting, there's a glare. I'm still trying to figure out, there are apparatuses out there that keep the glare from shining down on your glasses. There's like a reflection thing. Let's try that for just a minute. That's a little better, maybe. But anyway, in St. Louis, Missouri, it has been raining cats and dogs. And I was looking at a video that someone liked last night and said that they found my channel and that they subscribed. And I'm very, very thankful. And looking back 2 years at this particular time, there was a massive flood in my area here in St. Louis, Missouri, in the Afton County in which I live. And I'm going to mess with this light again. I had it set up the other time. Is that any better? Nope. Let's just do that. I don't like that either. There's got to be a way. Somebody please tell me how to get this glare out. Now that's going to make it too dark. All right, we're going back to that for right now. Sorry. But anyway, I was rewatching a video from 2 years ago that I did, and I was surprised at how much I needed to rehear that message, that lesson that I was giving. I am a writer. I am an artist. I am a speaker, business coach, a life coach. Not a doctor, not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. Don't play one on TV. I've taken some courses, some classes to help with my art classes, to help people understand perception and perspective and what they need to do in their life if they are willing to understand that their life needs other things. As a creative-minded woman, my mind, it goes all the time. I'm always looking for new things to add to my line. If you look behind me, I have incorporated kimonos and infinity scarves, and I have now my own line of jewelry that I'm creating. I call it the wraparound effect because if you have a service and you're trying to promote a service, it's just easier if you have something to sell because it gives you a reason to talk about your service while you're selling something and making a little bit of money. With last year, with the pandemic, it took pretty much of our incomes away. It took away a lot of our lives where we knew who we were and what we were trying to achieve and where we were going or heading in a direction. And then all of a sudden, as we all know, we were told to sit and do nothing and twiddle your thumbs. Now, as a creative person, I can stay occupied and I can create things and I can do things like that. But to sit still and twiddle my thumbs, no, plain and simple. To be told that you can't make an income in the capacity that you're used to making an income, to be told that you can't socialize, to be told you can't go do a job in which you had been doing, a whole lifetime. It plays havoc on your psyche. It plays havoc in your relationships. It plays havoc into what you think you should be doing when you haven't been able to do that at all. So if anybody pops on, just kind of say hi, let me know. I see my connection is going all wonky again. It's just a glitch. like things, like I've said in other videos, it's a huge glitch. But, loss of identity it's a real, when you think you know who you are and you think you know the direction in which you were headed, and then all of a sudden that you can't connect to that identity anymore. It's been a little bit of a struggle. And as things have become open again, after those that have stayed in place for so long, there's quite a bit of agoraphobia that's going on, where people really don't want to leave their house. They don't want to deal with the general public. And from what I have seen and had to deal with within my own personal, I will say 46% of the general public, you need to ask them who ties their shoelaces. People have stopped thinking for themselves. And it's created a bigger loss of identity. I'm an artist, a writer, a speaker, life and a business coach. And I've always had my hand a little bit in food and beverage. I lend a helping hand where needed. And last year, that too, it changed the perspective of how I had always been able to make a little bit of extra money, a little bit of money that kind of served the need for my household. And then not being able to travel as much, and the havoc that it played in my relationship. And loss of identity is a real thing. And when you're trying to accent your personality and tie it into your business and not get it to correlate with a mission that you were trying to achieve. I had always said with my person, whomever I am involved, I want to retire you. I want to be able to make enough money where you don't have to work as hard, and you can just kind of come on board and help me do what needs to be done so we can live a different kind of life. I live life out loud. My standard, I'm not high maintenance, but I have a pretty high standard. And I have this vision of where I want my life to go. And these are things in my creative-minded business coaching that, I teach creative-minded women how to think outside their box. So with last year being told, shove yourself in a box and don't think for yourself, it kind of had a glitch, kind of had a twist into all the things that I had been trying to achieve and all the places that I was trying to go and all the things that I thought I was in a direction for my person and myself. And it went belly up. It didn't work like that at all. The restaurant that I had been involved with, helping, lending a hand, the doors closed again. And the stress, the mental stress, the emotional stress of not being able to have some sort of income on my own was pretty much devastating. And I'm the kind of person where I won't ask for help. Have I had help over the last, I'll say 8 years? Yes. Here and there, help has always gotten me by, but a person who is striving to be independent doesn't want that kind of help. And I didn't want that type of a burden to be placed on my person. I just didn't. So, like I usually do, I just kind of shut it down. I closed down. Didn't do too much of anything. My own business went by the wayside. Spent a lot of time in my spot, again, on the love seat. And I had to start to question what my identity was and what exactly now was it that I was going to do. Now, thankfully, things have started to open up. I did walk away from my gig because I have more self-respect for me and more integrity. What was working for somebody else was no longer working for me, and I felt I was being taken advantage of. And loyalty does not put food on the table and doesn't keep the roof over your head. So I walked. So now with things opening, I have some art shows that are coming up. I'm opening up more of my classes. I have a painting class that I have coming up where I've booked for a group of ladies. But I wanted to just touch base with all of you on YouTube, all of my followers. And right now I've got 291 subscribes, and I'm grateful. I mean, there are no other words. I went from like 260 something, and within a month's time, it went to 291. And I always say fate can turn on a dime. But I'm concerned about the ones that are following me, and the message that I'm giving to you and what you are learning, and how loss of identity has affected you and your family and your livelihood, and where you thought you were headed and where you think you're going now. So in terms of, I try to find humor in everything I do, because nobody likes a slump. Nobody likes what I like to call an oompa loomp, somebody that just lays around and just like, the world's crumbling. Nobody likes to be around that. So I always try to find humor. My direction is I want to have my own horse rescue. I've said that in quite a few different videos. I'm co-owning a horse right now with the intention by August she will be mine. But things change. You never know from tomorrow, when you're an entrepreneur, how that direction can kind of alter, how the direction can kind of split. But, my main goal has always been to get to my own rescue facility, so I could rescue horses, have my animals, board my horses, sell my merchandise, teach my art classes on my property. I'm so over this house, and I've said it over and over, and I'm jumping back and forth, but houses should have a switch that you flip, and a huge suction of dust and everything should just kind of go up. I've got so much dust and animal fur, and I don't know about you, how your pets are all shedding, but mine, I can make double the amount of pets that I have with all the fur that seems to be going. I've got merchandise everywhere. Since I've started, making my own jewelry again, I went down that rabbit hole at the hobby shop. Here in St. Louis, we have Schaefer's Hobby, which is a scaled down Hobby Lobby, but it is amped up, minus it has no decorating things. If you want the best of beads, you go over to Schaefer's, and that's not a plug for them, but I enjoy going there because I see good quality things. And it is, when you are trying to add on to your business, when you're trying to multiply your income and the things that that you're able to do, you fall down a rabbit hole. I've been back there 2 and 3 times, and I walk in the door and they're like, "Oh, hi, you're back." I'm like, well, you can't leave me hanging now. I've got more things I need to figure out. I'm still selling my Avon, and Avon has changed. From what I understand now, as a representative, you have to have $40 or more. I had to stop and think how to say it. You have to have $40 and more in sales in order for you to receive a commission. Anything over $40, you get 25% in commission, which is, I guess, all fine and good. But those that are still struggling to make their ends meet, $40 is a lot to some people. They've also changed that when you go to place your order as a representative, everything has to be paid in full. So the best bet for an online business as a representative is to get your customers just to buy directly from your website. And so I'll link all that below when I'm done. But, I wanted to mention too, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be 60 years old. That's probably played a little bit of havoc in my loss of identity. I try to take really good care of myself. My exercise, especially with having a horse, you have to be in top fit. I've got a 110-pound boxer that keeps me on my toes. And then I've got his little counterpart who's a good 52 pounds now. I stay active, I stay healthy, but being 60, I want to use the best products that I can. And I don't like to talk makeup. I really don't. I'm not one of those kind of girls, but I've been watching this gal on Instagram. Her name is Kelly Polite, and she sells Saint Cosmetics. Now you can go look her up. You can say, hey, I was on YouTube, and Kit, because I follow her on Instagram, mentioned you. She lives in Alberta, Canada, and she's, to me, has this dream life. Her and her husband, her kids, they have a ranch. They've been in the rodeo circuit forever and ever and ever. And I mean, they've got a spread like you would not believe. And she's about as hip and cool as any woman could be. And I think she's probably, I'll say 10 years younger than me. But I love watching her do her makeup. My sister and I, we grew up in a household of women where we were always in the bathroom, always sharing a mirror. And we were always talking makeup and cosmetics. And this Kelly Polite gal, she's just really, really hip. So I don't like to talk about makeup. I certainly don't like to show you my makeup, my crazy hair that always seems to be changing. But, with these Avon products that I've been using, I find that a cream base is a lot easier. The lighter one, you just put where you need it. And then the other one, the darker one, you use for your contour. And then you just use a really good flat brush to even it all out. And, I don't have any wrinkles, some circles under my eyes. Even those lines that I used to have, they've kind of dissipated. I've been using the vitamin C line from Avon, which I absolutely love. And then before I even do any of my makeup, after I do the whole vitamin C, I use the setting spray, put that on, and then I go in with all of my little highlight and contour and everything, and then I'm good to go for the day. It doesn't come off. But my whole point in all of it is the extending part of who you are and what you do and your everyday livelihood that you depend on, it changes. And you've got to stay current to how these MLM companies are working in order for you to make a living. Now, because I do sell the Avon, it has become a little bit more, I won't say stressful, but a little bit more challenging because of the fact that the way people are still, saving their money, spending their money. A lot have not gone back to work, and I've got this crazy piece of hair now. Some have not gone back to work, and some don't want to go to work, which is sad. Love what you do, and the money follows. That part of your identity doesn't change. What changes is you get your head in this place where you lose your cue, you lose your motivation, you lose your direction. And I'm trying to really, really stay focused in my direction. So now when I think about retiring my person, whomever it is that's in my world, there is no retiring because there's 80 acres that needs to be tilled, planted, and plowed. We've got 60 head of cattle out there that are going to need to be dewormed and branded and given their shots. We've got 12 head of horses that we're caring for. We may not have children together, but there's kids out there. Them goats need to be fed. So retirement looks completely different to me for whomever. Independent living, having this interdependent relationship. Excuse me. Allergies too right now. The humidity is ridiculous, and it's got my asthma all confuddled. But having separate lives, but coming together with that direction. And when you have loss of identity, and when you find that you can't function because that person isn't there, or you feel such a great loss in your life because grief takes on different entities. It takes on just different patterns. You lose interest. Depression follows grief. People lay around more, they eat more, they don't talk to people, they don't socialize. What else? There was a whole list of them. I was reading about how grief affects people who have lost their spouses because of death. And, you can take the death part out of it, any kind of loss of identity, loss of money, loss of job, loss of direction, a breakup, a divorce. You lose sight. And sometimes it's really, really hard to continue to have a life that you used to have because it's just different. And you're forced to have this life that you really, really don't want, but you got to make do with what you've been given. Now, hopefully none of you have lost any of your partners, spouses, children, even pets. I lost 3 of my pets within it seems like a 6-month time last year. And that played havoc. Those animals were with me forever and ever and a day. Did I replace them? Oh yeah, I got old Bruce and I got sweet Shug, and I got my Ruby girl, my horse in the mix of it all, but a loss is a loss. And when you're losing that direction of which way that you're going or how you're going to do things, it plays havoc. And you start to question who you are, why you do the things you do, why you take things so personal, why you push people away that you truly do love. It's a difficult journey evolving and growing up to begin with. And at almost 60 in a few weeks, I look at things completely different than how I used to. I want people to be in my life, but I want them to speak the same vibe. I want them to have the same goal. I want them to understand that toxicity does not exist in my life. I will not become the sum of 5. Elevate. I want people who have an elevated status, not based on money, but based on their own acquisitions, their own values, their own personal worth that's not attached to a dollar sign. I certainly don't need anybody holding anything over my head. Well, I made this kind of money. What kind of money did you make today? Because it takes away from the value of who all of us are that are trying to just strive to be something a little bit better than who we were yesterday, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So again, I am Kitryn Marie. I do reside in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm an artist, a writer, speaker, a life, and a business coach. I hope this message is helping someone. I would love to hear from anybody. Leave a comment. Thank you for the gal that reached out to me last night. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you get over to Instagram, look up Kelly Polite. Also, in my spare downtime, there's a tarot reader that I have been following who is an absolute hoot. She is as entertaining as the day is long. Lumen Moon Tarot. She's a riot. She lives in Wisconsin. My sister's in Wisconsin, which the trip I didn't make that I really, really wanted to because of major, major issues with my car. But, if you're looking for some fun entertainment on YouTube, check out Lumen Moon Tarot. She is a riot. She sings. She's got some real monkey antics that are just hysterical, and I can lay in my spot on the couch and just laugh my rear off. So for today, for tomorrow, be happy, be blessed, be thankful for anything and everything that comes into your life. You need to remember that fate does turn on a dime, and you need to decide what side of that coin you want to be on. If you're in the St. Louis, Missouri area and you're looking to take a fun, innovative art class, send me a message at kitrynmarie@gmail.com, where I teach group painting lessons where all of the materials are provided. You get to pick your theme, have 7 paying guests at $45 each, and you being the 8th, you get yours free. If you're interested in any of my line of merchandise, I will be at the Sunset Hills Farmers Market the 2nd Saturday of the month from July through October. If you're interested in booking a private trunk show where you invite people to your friends, or you can come to my home, cash and carry. It's a full world when you decide what your identity is going to attach to and the direction that you need to take in order to keep that identity that people are associating with. Your brand says so much about your identity, your backstory to how you got to where you are, and the mission and the purpose that you have for going forward. So y'all take care. Thanks for letting me kind of take up some of your time. I'm looking here. Clock says 24 minutes and 57 seconds. Thanks for allowing me to fix my light, which I still didn't like. Works in progress. We're all works in progress. So for today, take care, and I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.